Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tending the Plot. We're going to go do a quick look at how our mint and basil in the house are doing before we pop outside and take care of a few things out there and check on some progress. So to start, our mint in the house is growing nice and tall. I did do some trimming in here recently, but it's looking pretty good. This little bush over here seems quite happy. I've been trimming off some of these dead looking strands. There've been a few of them that have been dying. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. I don't know what's going on here. Some of these things aren't doing so well, but I think the bulk of it is coming along quite nicely. So we're gonna hide the rest of the house to maintain some semblance of privacy. And come take a look at the basil, which is growing weirdly. It's growing like away from the sun. I don't know what's going on. It still has like these weird spots all over the leaves. I'm not sure if you can see these very well. I don't think it looks that happy. I mean, it kind of looks happy right here, but the leaves, I'm not sure. All right, let's head downstairs and take a look at the actual plot. The last time we were down here, we planted a bunch of mint and basil. Some of it had rooted properly, some of it hadn't, and I think the results will explain it. See, the basil is doing all right. It's not, well, actually this is doing better than I thought it was going to be doing. It's having a little struggle from the transplant, but overall I think it's quite happy. You know, this one's a little bit dirty, should be washed. But it's also looking pretty good. You know, it's not straight up and down, but it's not like this guy over here. This mint is not coming along. I don't think this one's gonna make it. This one was doing worse, but then I trimmed the top quite a bit, and I think it's doing better now. I also tried to trim the top on this guy, but I don't think it's gonna work. I think he's just not gonna make it. This middle one is doing fabulously. It's doing so good. Look at that guy go. I had trimmed that side a couple weeks ago, and now you can see all these little buds coming off of it all over the place. This one in the back is doing great. Is that a mint leaf? It doesn't smell like mint. That might be a random volunteer. And then the big bush is, ooh, is that new growth? I don't know. The big one might be doing well, might not be doing well. I have no way to tell. So that's that. Let's come on over here. We can see that the cucumbers are growing nicely. The lettuce is doing fantastically. Look at this guy going. Actually, I think we've got multiple little lettuces down here. They're conflicting with each other. I should probably pull out these purple leaf guys and just leave the green one, but I'm not going to. We're gonna see how it goes. And again, this little basil guy never comes along. These other ones are doing okay. This one's still stunted. Our sunflower was doing pretty great, but yesterday it was leaning over. It was like falling over in the back, and today it's doing okay. It's got all sorts of blossoms. In fact, many of these have already bloomed and then faded. This one's doing great. Interestingly, it is not facing the sun. The sun is in that direction, and it's facing the opposite direction. So it's not a very good sunflower, to be honest. Dude, these green onions are doing great. As I said before, we just grabbed them from the store. They were in our refrigerator, and we just put them in the ground, and look at them go. That's probably the most successful plant that I've got. And this other random lettuce and shit seems to be doing great too. The rose bush, coming along nicely. Got all this growth all over it. It's doing great. Rosebush is so happy. I think this is parsley. Yep, parsley's doing good. And broccoli never showed up, or is this broccoli? This might be broccoli. I don't know. And I don't know what these are. No idea. That's that random person's kale, and those leaves are starting to look more kale-y now. And oh no! Ooh, oops, shit. Here's the mint down here. I'm worried about this mint. It doesn't seem to be coming along as well as I used to, as well as I had hoped. There's lots of little leaves, but I feel like there's less of it than there used to be. Or maybe my expectations have gotten higher. The mint patch, I'm concerned about. What I was gonna say, before I stepped on the mint, is that this sucker was starting to crawl up this guy yesterday, and now he's not. I don't know what happened. These are like morning glories and stuff, and this trellis is here for them to climb. So I don't know, should I like give it a hand? I'm just gonna give it a little wrappy wrap. I could have sworn I saw it wrapped around this thing already. Maybe somebody else had come through and tried to wrap it around, and that's what I was seeing. I don't know. You can already see it's wrapping around itself. That's nice. Where are those coming from? Alright, it's two different plants wrapping around each other. Alright, I'm gonna do some watering real quick. Let's get that set up. And our neighbor one of our neighbors has acquired this much larger watering can, so I don't have to take 100 trips with the small piggy watering can. So we're gonna head back over the mint to take a look at that. It does sort of really shower down though. It's kind of a heavy, swampy effect. Yesterday when I was down here, I sort of constructed a mild dam because when I was watering, all the water was just flowing off to the side. The dam's holding it in place now. It's much better. Maybe that's why that little guy's not doing so good. No, that guy was just shitty to begin with. Yeah. We're gonna give the plants a haircut. I don't think so. I don't think anything needs trimming today. Really, I'm mostly concerned about the mint down here. Like, we got lots of little leaves. It's just not growing very fast. Got a little bit of something here. Got some guys over here. There's like this little buried guy right there. That little buried guy right there. That little one back there. That's sort of a stem right there. I don't know if it's gonna come along very well. Okay, is there anything anyone wanted to see or ask about before we finish up for today? Because we're basically done now. I might throw a little bit more water on it. Doesn't seem like it. All right. Let's do a little bit more water and then we'll be done. Well, that looks like that's it for this week's tending the plot. I'm going to once again cover the lens. Ooh, how do I do that? How do I normally walk like this? This is the camera side, okay. Can you explain the wooden pallets and not use a ditch as a separator? Yes, we have really terrible soil here. It's all covered with nasty rocks, and so we didn't have the time or resources to build a planter box proper. So we made a little pallet garden, which is just a normal pallet that you might use to haul shit on a trucking service. And you just lay it down and put some soil in it, and it works as a really good planter box. A nice proper planter box would be better, or just having good soil without a lot of rocks in it would be best. But you work with what you got, you know? You work with what you got. And that's it. We are done with tending the plot. We'll see you guys. Actually, we won't see you for a while. I'm going to be out of town for the next 2 Fridays, so it'll be 3 weeks before our next update. See you then.